This is Three Black Guys with a Mic, episode 10.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of shit.
Sometimes my mama said, you know, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one? Okay.
Are you drinking, man?
I don't know.
Are you drinking?
I don't even understand how you could even put Common and Bob Marley and Marvin Gaye. And even Marvin Gaye
I'm
is the
saying
same.
Lamont, who's on your iPhone, iPad? Who's in your playlist right now that ain't saying this?
Maynard, I know you a little bit on the right, and Lamont, I know you got that country club lifestyle. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic. Hey, real quick before we start the show, right after this episode, we want you to give us some feedback. You like it, you hate it, you can't stand Maynard, or you like Lamont, or you love Maynard and you can't stand Lamont. Either way, we want to know. Go to iTunes, Google Play, or however you listen to this podcast, rate us and leave us a review. That's how we get more listeners, you know? So we need you to subscribe to this podcast if you like it. Tell your friends about it and download it right at iTunes. Also, be sure to check us out on our website at threeblackguyswithamic.com and be sure to join in on the conversation on our Facebook page at facebook.com/threeblackguys. And now let's start the show. So welcome to episode 10 of Three Black Guys with a Mic. It is Spud, Maynard, and Lamont Hayes. We're just going to dive right into it. We are, honored to, have Kara Motley, who is from Detroit and was on Van Jones' Messy Truth. And she is here to talk about, her experience being on the Messy Truth and her views on the Messy Truth and why she feels that a woman is not ready to be president of the United States of America. So, Kara, welcome to Three Black Guys in the Mic. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are fantastic.
We're so happy that you had a chance to join us here, because when we saw you on TV, I said, look at the homegirl. First, you got the fly earrings and the hairdo was super fly, and then she went into her thing, and I just almost fell out my chair.
You and the half of the world.
So, I ain't gonna take the wheel.
It's fine. It's okay. I mean, everybody can jump in at the chance. But, Kara, let's first talk about how you got involved with, the Messy Truth. What was, did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? How did you get involved in that experience?
Well, I got involved because I'm with a group called Mothers of Murdered Children. Mm-hmm. So all the people that was on the panel was from that organization. They got in contact with the founder, and they wanted to hear from us, considering that all of us had lost a child due to violence or one form or the other. So they just asked us to be on the panel, really to discuss why, how Michigan lost the Democratic vote, and do they feel that that Obama in his 8 years could he did something different, or how we just feel about his his presidency of the last 8 years.
So they didn't ask that question, on the actual show, or at least they did. I missed that part in regards to, President Obama and his past 8 years. So do you think that President Obama did enough for African Americans in his time as a president?
I mean, it was a 2-hour interview.
You got quiet on me. Oh, wow.
It was a 2-hour interview, and they put it into 7 minutes. They asked the question, but I guess it didn't make the cut. And I said, he's one person. There was only so much he could do. And then he had a Republican, Congress. So he was limited in what he did, but he did some. But could he did more? Yes, of course. But like I told them, until we come together as a people, no one can do. And that's why I cut to seem like I was a Trump supporter at the end, because everybody was so offended when Trump said what we have to lose. I didn't take it. I think I'm the only person who didn't take it as we had nothing. I took it as what we've been doing is not helping. So try something new. What we got to lose? Try this over here. Try something different.
So you didn't support Donald Trump. So what did you write in the name, or did you support Hillary Clinton, or?
Yeah, no, I wrote in. That's what they put me. I wrote in a candidate.
Okay,
I couldn't vote for neither one of them. It was the pick of the two evils. Which one?
So you wrote in Donald Duck instead of Donald Trump, huh?
Something like that. Yeah. I wrote in Bernie Banner.
Well, you know what? She did clear up something. She said it was a 2-hour interview, and we all know how TV works, that they chop and slice and spice to get the reaction, which is what they did. But what I thought was really interesting and what I was happy about was to see that these were Black women that, I could kind of say, this is the home team right here. You know what I mean? So and it was actually done in a very positive way if you look at the whole particular piece. So I was happy about that. Even the other mothers that I saw up there, it was kind of like I saw a group of aunties up there. But my question to you, Kara, is after seeing what Donald Trump has done on Maynard, are we on day number 2 now? A full official day?
Yeah, 3, 2. Whatever.
So tell me what your energy and what do you feel about Donald J. Trump being our 45th president, and just about what are you feeling right now about that particular presidency?
I mean, day one, he just chopped up the Obamacare. Thank God it's gonna take at least over a year before anything can really go in effect. But right. He's chopping away everything that was built. I don't look at politics and as such. Only thing I can say, Donald Trump is going to bring us together. He's going to bring unity to our people. Because we better come together. Look, he better. No. Let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement. I'm saying that because he's so jacked up. We better come together. We're going to have a price to pay. He's not going to directly make us do it, but I'm saying because of his stupidity and the way he operating, we better come together. I'm not saying he's doing it in a positive way.
No, you know what?
That's how he's ran. I'm saying it's going to cause us to unite because if we don't, we need to unite. And I expressed that on the show. As far as his Mexican thing, I'm in agreement. We need to come together as a people before we can ban and come together with the Mexicans or the Latinos or anybody else. Until we unite and get ourselves together, then we can reach out to our Latino brothers and sisters. But we need to come together first. And I feel that he's going to make groups like our organization, other organizations, we're uniting. We have to come together. I'm down here in Arizona. I just was the day I landed, it was a 10,000 women march going on here in Arizona. We have to come together as a people.
Now, did you see a large tendency of Black women?
Yeah, it was a melting pot because, I'm in Tucson, there's, Mexicans and Blacks and Chinese, and it was a little bit of everybody there, and, me somewhat on this new anti-feminist move I'm on right now. Right, because it's by force of Van Jones' Messy Truth, I guess because my whole platform, I love our Black men. And to me, these feminists is kind of making men look so bad, so I'm not for it. And I'm just not, on a stance or whatever, but I'm here to build our black men up, and being feminist is like, it's kind of coming against it. And if I was able to finish my whole platform of why I wasn't ready for a female president, all they edited out and said I wasn't ready for a Black president because she's emotional. That is not all I said. They just
let's deal with that for a second, though. Can I jump in and ask a quick question, which is, that has been the talk about women and how women have been essentially oppressed for a bunch of women, they just too emotional. And then you, in fact, say it. And unfortunately, as you're saying, they edit it so much. But when it was coming out your mouth, did it not feel a little bit like you were setting women back 150?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I did not feel that, and I'll say it, and I'll keep saying it.
Please repeat,
I'm a
so that a lot of people here
because women, and this it's not me saying it. I feel we were created that way. We were created emotional creatures by nature, by God's creation. We were created like that. It's not me saying it. Now, I didn't say we can't control it. I didn't say I can't control my emotions.
I do want to kind of go back to Maynard's point, because I don't know if you answered that or not, and if you did, I missed it. So, what part did we miss that they edited out?
As far as me not being ready for a female president, one emotional, and then the Democratic Party altogether. We as a Black people, we've been Democrats for the past 40 years, and we still broke in poverty. It's not making a difference. So you get a little bit more on your bridge card. Now, I really did kind of go ham. I don't know if I should be repeating it.
And Kara, wait. For those who are listening who have no idea what do you say, bridge card? What's that?
What's the EBT?
The
food stamps. Food stamps.
All right, we got you. Because we got some listeners outside of the U.S. and they might not know what a bridge card is. So we wanted to make sure everybody knew what a bridge card.
I was a single. Don't get me wrong. I was a single mother. I used it as temporary help. It was a time when women would have more kids to get more money from the welfare system. It's temporary help. That's what it was meant for. So I'm all for it. I know some brilliant, excellent entrepreneur women that's doing well, running multi-million-dollar companies. At one time in their life, they had to use it because they was raising kids by themselves. I'm not knocking it, but I'm not knocking 87% of the our Black Americans are employed and working hard every day. I'm sorry.
Wait. I need you to make sure we because this is gonna be part of my promo. Can you please say that one more time?
87% of Black Americans is getting up, going to work every day. I'm not saying that welfare is making us lazy. Okay, I'm saying that there are those that it is.
Yep.
And so the best thing the Democratic Party could have did when Clinton was in office was make work first. You got to go get work and go be looking for a job, or you can't receive assistance. That was the best thing they put in place. Right. For those that do. I grew up in the hood. I know a lot of women. I'm sorry, but I do. I know a lot of women that pimp that system as best as they could, and they ain't trying to get no job or nothing. So I'm talking to that little percentage. I'm not talking to the 87% of Americans that's going to work every day, working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to make it happen.
Now, Maynard, are you paying attention? Are you listening to this queen who's giving you statistics, who's giving you facts? Maynard, because you're really quiet today. Normally you talking really loud and reckless. We got company, and now you want to act like you all shy.
Hey, my dude, I've never said that we had this outrageous issue. All I've ever known is Black people to work. So what do you want me to say? I disagree. It's 86.7. I mean, what do you want me to say? You calling me out?
So Kara, let me ask you this before we gotta let you go. So you said that the Democratic Party, has kind of set Black people back. So is that your way of saying that we should not, that Black folks should vote Republican?
I didn't say that the Democratic Party set us back. Don't put words in my mouth now.
I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. I thought I was under the impression that you were saying, or let me, I guess, rephrase it this way, that we haven't gotten anything from the Democratic Party.
Okay, let me say what I said. What I said was that we've been voting Democratic since before I was born. We've been voting Democratic for umpteen years. And we as a people, how far have we gotten as far as employment, job opportunities, education, and things being poured into our community? We're still struggling.
I think we got a great deal. I think we've come a long way. I mean, it was a Democratic Party of Kennedy and Lyndon Baines Johnson that passed the Civil Rights Act and the Housing Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. And that was, not quite necessarily in my lifetime, but just a few years before I was born. And it was, as you said, Bill Clinton put some requirements on work before welfare. And then Barack Obama did some things to help ensure people. And in fact, turned the country from a 10% unemployment rate to a 4.7%. In that 5% that he cut, I'm certain that some of those people were black. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that they didn't do anything, but it's like it's a new era. It's like it's a new thing coming that's oppressing us again. You know,
And that's
it's
the Democratic
like
Party? And that's the Democratic Party?
no. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I think a lot of people would probably argue that in many states, particularly red states, and in fact some blue states, that the Republican Party has been trying to find ways to discourage black voting. That the Republican Party has been trying to find ways to, turn a blind eye. It's the Republican Party that takes dollars from the NRA, and the Republican Party takes these dollars from the NRA and won't allow simple gun violence or gun control laws to be put in place. Not saying that we want to get rid of guns. Now, you mentioned that you had a child that was taken from you, that was murdered. Can you tell me a little bit about, what was the method? Was it, was your child shot?
Yeah, he was shot going to the his mailbox to get his mail in his apartment. It was some gunmen in there, and they shot him. And they shot him with an AK-47. So if anybody can explain to me how a teenage boy got hold to AK-47, and half of the other members in our group, children are being killed with military grade weapons.
Yeah, and I would say that while the Democrats but I don't know, maybe what you're suggesting is quite possibly that they have either been ineffective in many ways or have taken us for granted. It's been the Republican Party that has been in grand support of, hey, you can't tell anybody who wants to own a gun, no matter what, if he's on the no-fly list, you can't tell him he can't have a gun. They are the ones that have been taking NRA dollars left and right. And so I'm sorry, I have to bow out of this argument with you because I have to disagree.
Well, I don't know if she's
trying something else. Hold on, Spud. Hold on. They're trying something else. It's been for what I'm most concerned about as far as an African American man or a black man living in a black neighborhood. I can go out and try to find a job. And I have a job, and I can go out and put money in the bank, and I can save cash, and I can invest in my daughter's future. But in so many ways, I can't save my own life if a stray bullet has my name on it. And the Republican Party has been the one that said, hey, stray bullets, let's have them. Where the Democratic Party has been trying to find ways to stop that. So more than any other social program or even employment, I think the Democrats have demonstrated a greater concern for me by saying, as a black person, by saying we need common sense gun control. Would you disagree with that?
No, I won't disagree with it.
Let me jump in real quick because I mean, at the same time though, Maynard, the Republican Party and the NRA is also saying you have the right to bear arms, but it doesn't mean you have the right to go out and get an AK-47 and shoot somebody, right? The Republican Party isn't saying that neither.
Yeah, but they have firm protections. We know that there are common sense laws that can help prevent some of the gun violence that exists. But the Republican Party, and I would actually say they have said that, because every time in the 90s, when a mass casualty occurred with gun violence, the Republican Party then said, you know what, we're going to have our convention right down the street from there. Columbine, in Columbine, just after that event occurred, the Republican Party changed their convention. I mean, not the Republican Party, excuse me. The NRA changed their convention location to Columbine, essentially.
Well, hold that thought, because I know she has to go, and I don't want to keep her because I told her 20 minutes. Kara, I do want you to, if you can, before you go, can you talk more about mothers of murdered children? Because that is, I know that that's something that's extremely important to not just you and the women that were on the panel, but, us as the African-American community. I mean, a lot of things, go on, and we on the show, as well as, I'm always, discussing it. It's just so frustrating, that black folks continue to, kill black folks. folks. So can you tell us a little bit about, that program and how people can get involved?
Yeah, and first and foremost, I would like to say, mothers of murdered children these are not their view. They have not. This is me and me alone. I'm not representing mothers of murdered children right now on this program. They don't have a political view. They don't, so I just want to make that clear that these are my opinions and not the opinions of mothers of murdered children. But the organization was founded by Andrea Clark when she lost her son and didn't have nowhere to turn, and then she didn't find nobody else out there who felt what she felt. So she founded the organization. We do a lot of things in the community. We came together and she did a resolution to try to file homicide as a public health issue. So we can get that funding. Like if it was Ebola outbreak, they pour millions and millions of dollars to do that. But more people dying from homicide than they are from Ebola.
Amen.
So different diseases. So she did a resolution to try to go before Congress to get that passed. So that's about what we do in the political arena. We march and we go to Washington and do different things like that. But we have, when we hear about a child being murdered, we're there. We make ourselves available. We have support groups. It's called Good Grief because we allow people to express themselves and heal the way they know how. And we just offer assistance. So it's called a Good Grief support group that we have for the mothers. And we do different things, in the community to, prevent gun violence, to stop Black on Black crime and things like that. We work hand in hand with the homicide detectives, with the police on a regular to help get, some of the mothers' cases solved. They started a pilot on, because they don't have a cold case unit in DPD. So they did a pilot to start, it's called non-active department. So they're doing fresh eyes on old cases.
And by DPD, you mean the Detroit Police Department?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so, we active with them, we here for the mothers and fathers and siblings. We have a never forgotten Christmas every year for siblings of lost, siblings or children of lost parents, so we come together, get them toys and have a big dinner and different things like that. So, yeah,
and is
that's
there a way for
basically
people to, get involved? I mean, and is this something that you guys are looking to expand beyond the city of Detroit or outside of Michigan, or is it just focused on that right now? And is it a way where people, can get involved in regards to donations or, just support, moral support or, prayers, anything?
Yes, definitely. We're on all social medias. And actually, we do have a couple of chapters in a couple of other states right now. I know Kansas is one, in Chicago, I believe we have one. And we have pages on Facebook. You Google, we have websites. You can hit a button and donate on a website. I believe it's mothersofmurderedchildren.org. You can, go to the websites. We're very visible. If you Google Mothers of Murdered Children, it'll show. So, yeah, you can, even in searching Facebook and other social medias, we're everywhere to be contacted for our social media.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Kara. I truly appreciate you taking the time, and I truly appreciate it. I'm so honored that you were, able to, get on with us, especially, during the situation and you traveling to Arizona. So I truly appreciate you sticking to this commitment. So thank you so very much. Have a fantastic day. If there's anything that we could do for you in the future, please let us know. Any way we can get the word out, for, mothers of murdered children. We are here to support you in any way, so we truly appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Thank you. I hope your tongue back up speaking with me.
Well, you know what? Here's what I'll say. I'll say this real quick. We are in agreements on, that this kind of climate will bring us together as it has done, historically, because when they got their foot on our necks and sometimes they was running around in white sheets and doing all kind of stuff to us with hoses and dogs, it seems like those were the times where we were definitely the most cohesive as a Black community. So I think some of these new ways of doing some of those not so good things to our community, it will bring us together. So I'm definitely with you on that. But again, I thank you as well. We really, really appreciate you taking your time.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
It's 2017. It's time to get your appetite right, man. Stop eating all that frozen food. You need to get fresh food. That's why the big news about Wendy's 4 for $4 meal just got even bigger. And we go into 2017 with big things with Wendy's. See how the choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT that sound good right about now just changed the value game all over again. No more eating all of that frozen food. We only getting it fresh in 2017. Meal includes the choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT, 4-piece nugget, small fries, and a drink. Can't get that anywhere else in the world. You heard me? That's why you need to head over to Wendy's. Get it all fresh. Fresh. Never frozen. Stop putting all that frozen food in your body. Get it fresh from Wendy's. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. And now back to the show. Hey, welcome back to episode 10 of Three Black Guys with a Mic. We are back after Maynard and beat up our guest and shit. Jeez, Manisa, let's move on. We do thank Kara, for her opinion, and we respect her opinion on Donald Trump as well as the Republican Party as we move forward. Speaking of Donald Trump, everyone else is, I don't even know what you're even going to say about this next topic because Chrisette Michele decided she was going to actually perform at the inauguration, and Spike Lee said, listen, I was sorry to read that Sister Girl is singing at the Donald Trump inauguration, and I was thinking about using Chrisette Michele's song, Black Girl Magic, in my Netflix series. She's got to have it. Not anymore. And that's that. Truth, Ruth. So, who's wrong on this situation? Maynard, I hate to even start with you after you done beat up Kara. Goddamn.
Right.
And anyway, who's wrong on this situation? Is Chrisette Michele wrong for performing at the inauguration, or Spike Lee wrong for saying, you performed at the inauguration, I'm not supporting you anymore?
Listen, I think neither one of them are wrong, and neither one of and Chrisette Michele is right. I'll say this. Chrisette Michele, I went back and checked. Lamont, you are our music industry expert. You can go back and do these numbers, but Chrisette Michele has never actually sold a gold album. She's never had an album crack 500,000 copies. With that much being
an album on her own, yes, but she's been associated or performed on an album that has been double platinum. Yes.
Yeah, but that, associated and performed on does not get you full rights to the check, right? I mean,
I'll take that.
What is up with you today, dog?
I'm just saying, man.
I do respect that. I respect that. Go ahead. You're right.
Because you sing a hook on somebody else's album might get you, a nice little payday, but it ain't going to get you. They going to go and get the big money, and you just got your little 15 stacks or whatever. And so anyhow, there was a lot of discussion. I mean, at first the number was she was going to get $750, then she was going to get a quarter, then she wasn't going to perform, then she was going to perform. Yo, you know what? She made a decision that she needed to make for herself. I don't necessarily like it. And at the same time, I'm not a stakeholder. I'm not a Chrisette Michele fan. Like, I don't have her, collection. I didn't know that she'd been out as long as she'd been out. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I did, but I just never paid. The years slipped by. But she has never sold 500,000 copies. She's never sold 1 million copies. So, how record contracts work, even if she did sell 1 million copies, would she have gotten $250,000 for that, Lamont?
Yeah, she sold 1 million records. Well, let me take that back. Depending on what the contracts say, you never know.
Right. I mean, think about that. What you about to agree to is that she was going to get 25 points. 25 points other than
whatever the paperwork said. We don't know what the paperwork said.
Right. But we know that an artist on her level who doesn't sell millions of copies, how many points typically does that look like? 3, 4, 5 points? So
again, you got to look at more of the specifics because you got to look at royalties and how they're being broken up. Who does what? You know, you don't know if she wrote. You don't know if she produced
her
it.
last album, she's independent now. She's no longer with a label of, you know, she's no longer on the Def Jam Motown joint.
Yeah, but you still have to pay royalty. So if somebody else produced it, whether she's independent or not, you know,
she got to pay out those other people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, as an independent at this point, she got to look out for the Chrisette Michele plate. She can't worry about what Spike Lee is serving on his plate, because to say he's going to use her song is not to say he's going to give her $250,000. So from a financial standpoint, she got to get her money game on. And then she has a point about what she's saying. And she is saying, if we don't show up, we can't be mad that they don't ask us our opinion. That's and I'm paraphrasing. She didn't say that exactly, but she said that she's here to be a part so that she can, you know, play a part. And then I don't think that she said she's going to sit at the table and try to convince Don Trump of this or do that. But she said, hey, I'm gonna jump in here and do my piece, and it's going to heighten my whatever. So for all that, I don't think that I'm the right person to talk about whether or not I'm gonna buy another Chrisette Michele album. I've not bought her albums. And at the same time, Spike, I mean, you know, dude, I love all your old stuff, but after Girl 6, dude, I mean, just stop.
You like Girl 6?
No, I'm saying exactly that. After Girl 6, once you drop Girl 6, I was like, dude.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, Girl 6,
after
Girl 6 just nuts weird.
Inside Man was a good movie, though, dog.
Inside Man was tight.
Well,
here's the thing that I gotta ask real quick, you know, before you jump in, Lamont. I mean, I saw the performance, and you know, I was really disappointed in everyone's, negative comment towards Chrisette Michele performing, because me and my wife actually, you know, debated this as well, because you know, she was saying nobody should show up, you know, in the inauguration, nobody should be a part of it. And when I saw the performance, the only thing that I had a problem with about the performance is that they went first. That was the only problem I had about the performance. Other than that, she did a gospel song. She looked great. It wasn't her by herself. It was her and the other guy who, you know, decided that he was going to be a part of the actual, you know, event. So she was like a co-host or co-star in the situation. So, or like it was a duet, you know, it wasn't like a solo. She didn't do no inauguration or anything like that. It wasn't like she showed up like Wayne T. Jackson, you know, and, you know, perform. So I thought that it looked good. And I didn't think, and you know, what I was telling my wife was, I said, you know, if you look at the performance, it doesn't look like it was a part of the inauguration. It looked like it was just a performance on TV, and that was that. And that's the way I felt about it. And I just was like, man, I just can't believe that people cannot give people the respect of saying, hey, this is my opinion. This is what I want to do. And that's just that. I mean, I know this is, you know, you guys' time, but I mean, Spike, I mean, I'm not trying to go at you because I like you, Spike, but damn, dog.
Can she live, Spike? Can she live?
Can she live?
Can she live?
Can she live?
And
can
live?
You not, you know, and I'm sorry to digress, but, you know, this is another thing that, in my opinion, continues to divide the African-American community, because now you're not going to support this girl and put her song in your movies when Maynard just said she ain't even sell 500,000 damn albums, Spike. She need that check, Spike. Now you're not going to support her?
But she got that she got that $250,000 check though. She just got that thing set up. Lamont, tell me what's up with that. It's $250 right there, homie.
Listen. Let's first start from the beginning, because Spud took a little bit of my thunder because I'm with him on several points. But the first point that I have is that all of this conversation, a hit record will silence all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
True.
So now what Chrisette has to go do now is go make a hit record. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if she got it in her though.
Fall back, son. Just fall back. This is my time. You in the penalty box for what you did to our guests. So let me just get my shine over you, homeboy.
Right.
So just fall back. So here's my other thing with Chrisette, because I was the same way, Spud, is that, you know, we had our big, you know, black tie joint and we was in a little suite. I didn't actually hear the performance, but the TV was on and it was on silent. And when I saw her, I said, that young lady looked stunning. She looked amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because I have seen her in a different light, but the way that she looked, I said, she looks impeccable. And I saw the gospel kid who she was singing with, which I don't know his name, and I'm still trying to figure out why all of the gospel gangsters ain't trying to cut his head off, but that's another conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all don't want to front on Wayne T, but whatever. Because the same people that's talking real reckless about Chrisette is probably like, it's okay for the gospel kid to do it, but however. But another thing I got to give Chrisette a little credit for is that, you know, and I thought she was actually married, but it's her fiance who is her manager. And her fiance pinned a little something to Spike, which was a little bit, you know, using the F-bomb and the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? We going after them bigger sponsors, so we ain't going to drop it. But he did use the F-bomb. And he was like, yo, this is my fiance, and this is a decision that we made. And I was like, you know what? I got to kind of be down with my man handling his business in his house. Because you can't tell another man how to handle his business with his fiance in his crib. If y'all want to roll like that and go get that paper, Spud, I'm kind of with you a little bit. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, my man Bobby Duckett said this. Sometimes we, as black people, got to learn how to stay out of white folks' business. And some of this stuff that Donald Trump and all them got going on, some of it ain't our business. You feel what I'm saying? So if that's her part of her job and her employment, at first I was like, but then once I looked at it and saw it, I'm like, you know what, baby girl, go on and do your thing. And now what you got to do, and I'm glad I saw this. I saw another clip on Instagram that she took her whole little crew and they went out the country. They on vacation right now. The people in the band and the dance.
Oh,
and all that other kind of stuff.
no.
So I'm like,
Well, now we really need to hit. Damn, now we really need a hit record. Now we need it really.
She just got them chips, man.
So you know what? So in the end, at first, I wasn't as happy about the situation. But now as I look at it and you dive into it a little bit more, the same like you said, it wasn't like she was on the steps of the Capitol, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like Riri was, you know what I'm saying? Up with the hat that looked real different, you know what I'm saying? She was.
That sound like shot at Riri.
You know what I'm saying? She was at, because it was at a ball, right? One of the mini balls that they had, right?
It was at the first ball. It was at the first ball.
Yeah. So it's like she performing at the after party. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
After the concert was over. But again, we in our community, we kind of made it bigger than what it was. And we honestly probably made her more relevant than they would have made her relevant, because they just would have thought she was just some old regular singer. You know what I mean? So again, God bless you, Chrisette. My man, dude's name is Biggs. He's not, you know, not from Rockefeller, but some other kid, his name is Biggs. It's her fiance. Now get that check, pay your taxes, man, and go make a hit record.
And the guy who she performed with, the gospel singer, his name is Travis Green. And, you know, to go back to Maynard's point in regards to not ever having, you know, a gold album, you know, Chrisette Michele was kind of in the transition of, you know, CDs to the digital space. And as long as she keeps singing a couple of forevers, man, she all good, man. She don't necessarily need no hit record. As long as she keep doing it, she got, you know, R&B divas, you know what, man, she gonna be all right. But speaking of the music business, they keep it moving. Today, it was announced that Sprint put a little money into Jay-Z's Tidal, 33%, I believe. Isn't that right, man? It's 33%?
33%.
33%, so Jay-Z got a third. I know Tidal wasn't doing well. So, Lamont, let's go to you. What is the future of Tidal? And then, what is the future of how we buy music? Because I know that Jay-Z, when he put out, what was the last album? What was the last album Jay-Z put out? Magna Carta. You know, he did it with Samsung. And you got the album. So, are we going from CDs to iTunes into the digital space into, I don't even need iTunes anymore. I could just go right to my phone. As soon as you get the phone, you're going to get this album, you know, or is the streaming service the future of music?
I mean, the statistics are showing that as we speak. I mean, iTunes is not the number one destination for music anymore. I think the last report that I read, I think they were number 2. And I forgot. No, YouTube was number 1. Yep. YouTube, and then iTunes. So I think what this deal just showed is that Jay-Z is all down still with the flip. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, they gathered up $58 million, and he just sold 33% of it for $200 million, which means there's still a large chunk that's out there. So he took his 58 million and turned that into 200. So again, kudos to that brother again for the move that he made. You know, of course, he got a team around him, you know, because one man isn't an island, so he was able to make that happen. But I think what the deal really does is it brings a powerhouse like Sprint to come in and just beef up the infrastructure. Because from what I'm hearing is that was one of the issues with Tidal, is that it was a service that basically the back end was not as good and as up to date and as A1 as it should be. So I think what Sprint is going to do is they're going to bring that technical aspect. They're going to bring that muscle to it, to beef it up, to make it stronger. And yeah, they're going to put a little cash into it so Jay doesn't have to do it on his own or go out and get it. So I think it's a win-win for Tidal, and it's going to be a little bit more mainstream because Tidal was definitely far down on the list in terms of a streaming service because it is expensive. It's one of the more expensive ones from a monthly standpoint. So I think they're probably going to be able to lower the price, be able to give you a little bit more content because everything was not on Tidal because Tidal didn't have that money to, you know, pay those licensing fees. So I think it's a win-win. Over the next 6 to 12 months, you're going to definitely see a different Tidal.
Lamont.
Here we go with the blowing. Oh.
Let's just say this. First, let me say this. I'm sorry, but Sprint made a huge mistake by paying that much because it wasn't even valued anywhere close to that. And also, I feel concerned for Tidal's existence, other than the fact that Sprint is taking a ownership stake, not full ownership stake, but they're taking they're picking up a big piece. So maybe they will be interested in making sure that they don't lose their money. However, they also did something similar to this with Spotify a few years ago. And, you know, that didn't really pan out too well. So Sprint, in fact, the whole idea that they're going to beef up the back end, Sprint doesn't actually have that skill set. That's not what they do. Sprint has, I think, historically been horrible at finding ways to merge with other companies. They once a couple of years ago, we called them Sprint Nextel. I wonder what happened with that. Now, you're right, I think, in a lot of ways, Lamont, that Tidal is a little bit more expensive than the others. They're also a little bit late to the game. And I think at the end of the day, the reason why they didn't get traction, where their numbers are somewhere between 1 million. There's some services or some folks over in Norway where Tidal was actually founded that say it's about 850,000 up to as much as 3 million. That's, you know, neither here nor there. When you look at it at the end of the day, when Pandora or Spotify are in the 16 and 30 millions, and iTunes is in that space as well. 3 million is a far cry. So what does this deal look like to the consumer? Does that mean that the consumer can buy a Sprint phone and pay an extra $3-4 in their account they already paying and get access to Tidal? That's hot. 45 million people on Sprint. That's hot. But I think if what happens is if Sprint says we're going to help cut the cost of the service and the artists still want their money, then I think people who are going to get Tidal through Sprint or through other means on lower tiered services are going to have to expect some advertising to be running there because somebody got to pay those bills. You got to fill them gaffles in the pocket somehow.
I mean, your commentary is fantastic, and I love the way that you broke that down. But also, on the same, at the same time, I think that it also what it does for Tidal is that it gives Tidal leverage because now the people who are not at this moment, looking at Tidal as a universal brand where people look at, Spotify and Pandora as a universal brand, people across the world look at that. People don't look at Tidal, as a universal brand. So in my opinion, I think it gives Tidal the opportunity to be able to say, oh, look, now we've partnered with Sprint or Sprint has bought into this situation. Now it gives the eyeballs to the people who weren't even putting Tidal on their radar, any longer. I mean, in the first place, and saying, oh, well, let me give this a look. It's the equivalent of Jenny Craig. Oh, shit. Oprah put in money to, Jenny Craig. Oh, it raises my eyebrows at this point. And so now, the stock goes up, and not only that, it's associated with somebody who is an entity that can bring it to the masses. And so that's what I think it does. I agree with you, though. I think that if you don't lower the price, that's my problem with Tidal.
So wait. Wait. Excuse me. So, Maynard, can we go back to something that I want to make sure I'm clear on? What did you say about Spotify? Because I just wanted to make sure I was correct.
In 2014, see, Spotify was already a thing. Let's start with that. But in 2014, Sprint did a deal with Spotify where they basically did pass-through billing for Spotify. So if you had Sprint and you wanted to add Spotify, you could put that on your Sprint bill. So if your bill was
here's my question, because you try to talk so long and sophisticated today. I don't know what that's about, but as I just checked, right, I just checked the data, and they have the most worldwide subscribers over everyone. So how is that a bad thing?
Well, because I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Spotify was a thing before the Sprint deal. Sprint jumped on Spotify's coattails, not Spotify jumping on Sprint's coattails. Spotify didn't need Sprint. Sprint needed Spotify, and that's why Sprint. Hold on. But
it still didn't matter. They still have the most paying subscribers.
That Sprint didn't make that for them. What I'm saying is this.
But you said the deal didn't work good for Sprint. If anything,
it didn't work well for Sprint. And that's why
It was early.
Well, but Spotify was well established, and because remember this, we heard about Spotify in America late. Spotify was kicking it over in Europe strong. And so they already were getting their piece. If you look at Spotify's deal, only 32 million people in America are using Spotify in like 2015. But there were 93 million people using Spotify in 2015 worldwide. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. 16 million people were using Spotify in 2015. 16 million. There was 2, 3, 4 times that on Spotify before. So the Sprint deal didn't help Spotify. It was to help Sprint. Tidal needs Sprint to help Tidal. Sprint doesn't necessarily need Tidal to help. That's why Sprint decided we're going to give you free data if you use a streaming service. That was a sales pitch to help Sprint boost its numbers, not Spotify to boost its numbers.
You know, for episode 10, your nickname is going to be Stephen A.
If you just
I'm gonna leave off the stiff, but I'm just gonna say Stephen A.
If you just look at the facts are what they are.
I'm not. You just said Spotify, but no. What was the quote that he said? He said, "Well, when Sprint did the deal with Spotify, look at what happened. No matter who brought the meat to the table, that still was a good. Yeah, that still was a good deal. So wait. So now, if Sprint is even smarter, they said, okay, we got this other thing called Tidal that's only at 3-4 million subscribers, hell, and not that big around the world. You know, we can partner all of that and maybe do some sort of co-branding thing and maybe do something with some of these Spotify users, and that increases that subscribing base.
Right, and also now you get exclusivity to Jay-Z, to Kanye West, to T.I., to Fat Joe, and all the people that's on it.
Right, so I'm still not understanding how is that bad for Sprint? And you said that they paid too much.
They did pay too much. We're talking about a company that in 2015 lost something like $30 million. We're talking about a company whose 2016 numbers aren't out yet, but they're going to have a similar loss. If they lost $28 million in 2015, and Jay paid $56 million in 2014, in the beginning of 2015, Jay paid
Well, to clarify, that's not what it said. The company that owns Spotify lost $28 million. It didn't say Tidal lost $28 million, which I'm sure it trickled down. However, it didn't say that Tidal lost $28 million. The company that owned Tidal.
Okay,
lost
fine.
$28 million.
But their biggest product happens to be in fact, I think it's their only product is Tidal. But that's okay. Whichever you want to say.
Whoa, Maynard, you sound like you're doing alternative facts. Is that what you're doing? You sound like you have a degree from Trump University, and are these alternative facts?
Here we go. So Tidal's parent company at the time, before Jay did the deal, was worth X. I don't know what that was. Jay did the deal. He bought it for $56 million with his partnership group, includes Madonna, Kanye, et cetera, et cetera. 2015, in December, they fired the CEO and replaced him. They also reported a $28 million loss. Last time I checked, 28 and 28 equals 56. So they lost half of 56 million. And then a year and a couple of months, a couple of weeks later, Sprint pays 200 million. That says that the company is worth about 600 million. I don't think that company's worth $600 million. 33% stake, and you make at $200 million means that the company is worth 3 times as much.
Yeah, but do you think that, I don't
think it's worth that.
I mean, I feel you on the value of it, but, do you think that the bigger part of it is that they're, buying into the exclusivity of what you're getting? Because if you're buying into Jay-Z, then shit, that's 200 million by itself. If you're buying into Kanye West, if you're buying into Madonna, if you're buying into T.I., all of these, people. I just was listening to Fat Joe the other day saying his music is exclusive on iTunes. So I mean, not iTunes. I'm sorry. I mean, not that he's on Tidal. And so, if you're buying into all of the access to all of these different artists, isn't that the value of the 200 million? It's the equivalent of Apple paying Dr. Dre $1 billion for Beats by Dre. You're not buying Beats by Dre. You're buying Dr. Dre, because without Dr. Dre, all you got is fucking headphones.
That's right.
Well, right? All right. So I'll break this down. I listened to a podcast a little bit ago that discussed like Apple and streaming music services. And they were saying essentially this, that Pandora, Spotify, and there's another one out there that slips my mind right now. I can't remember. I think they were probably mentioned in Tidal as well, is that and Apple are basically losing money because the royalties are expensive. And I think that's a challenge, right? And a company like Apple that has $245 billion or some crazy number sitting on the sidelines of cash, they felt like doing the Dre thing, like it's $1 billion. Yeah, we got money to burn. And they also, and anyhow, the point of these particular tech guru cats are, and I'm referring to Leo Laporte, This Week in Tech. You guys can go back and find it. And they do a tech week every week. Was that Apple, for instance, has a whole bunch of cash, and they think that their game is to keep sitting there and paying the money and losing money on this particular end, and ultimately driving other people out of business. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was their thing. And they were saying that, Pandora and some of the others are hedging now. They're like, damn, we can't make money in this space like we thought we were. So I don't know how it's going to pan out. Now, Tidal's deal is they typically pay 2 or 3 times as much as Spotify to the artist. That's a big nut to have to pay off.
All right, let's go to a break. We over time because Maynard, you long-winded today. Did you read like an encyclopedia or your intellectual game today.
Let's go to a break. Wendy's need to get their time in. Wait, can you talk about hamburgers, please?
That's very true. We'll be right back right after this.
Bacon.
It's 2017. It's time to get your appetite right, man. Stop eating all that frozen food. You need to get fresh food. That's why the big news about Wendy's 4 for $4 meal just got even bigger. And we go into 2017 with big things with Wendy's. See how the choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT that sound good right about now just changed the value game all over again. No more eating all of that frozen food. We only getting it fresh in 2017. Meal includes the choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT, 4-piece nugget, small fries, and a drink. Can't get that anywhere else in the world. You heard me? That's why you need to head over to Wendy's. Get it all fresh. Fresh. Never frozen. Stop putting all that frozen food in your body. Get it fresh from Wendy's. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. And now back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Three Black Guys with a Mic. This is episode number 10. Let's get into Maynard's 5 minutes of fame. The floor is yours, my brother.
Spud, man, can I ask a quick question before I get started?
Yes, of course.
Sir, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I feel like you neglected to add my air horns last go around. Can I have one right here? And then right here? And then right here? Ow, yes! I love those air horns, even if I don't get them. I don't even know what happened with that. All right, all right. First of all, let me send some quick shout outs to some people I think deserve to get some love. Lamont brought up some things in a text message that I think are important. I love me some MC Light. I don't hate to steal your thunder right here, my dude, but I understand that MC Light may have gotten married or something. Is that right, Lamont?
Hey, man, that's the word on the street, my brother. That's the word on the street.
Hey, I just got to say, I love MC Light. And she's one of those hip hop artists. Like when you start naming the top rappers of all time, you know what? I think we overlook the women, the females in the game, and MC Light is one of those females that's legendary. So is Queen Latifah, so is Lauryn Hill, so is Yo-Yo, and so many others.
So is Lil Kim. So is Lil Kim. So is Nicki Minaj.
I can give Kim some love. I gotta go back.
You better give Nicki Minaj some love, boy. You better give Nicki Minaj
All right,
some love.
so it's my 5 minutes of fame.
I
And
know,
we gonna pass on Nicki Minaj right there. Let me ask a quick question to my man Trey Songz. Don't you know that no means no, my dude? No means no. Trey Songz. I forget the song, and I love Trey Songz music, but he's also from Virginia, and I say also because Chris Brown is from Virginia. Chris Brown is Chris Brown has proven to be a roughneck and a thug, and I think that's cool. You know what, Trey? That's not your part, man. Just recently you went on stage and just breaking up equipment because you couldn't get your time or more time that you wanted. But Keke Palmer has said, please don't put me in the video. And you gonna go and do it anyway. Keke Palmer ain't hurt nobody. She been in the secret life of bees. I didn't even know bees had a secret life. I don't know what they do in it. Keke Palmer's been in all kinds of other movies. She's a sweetheart. I didn't know she had such a potty mouth on her when I checked her Instagram the other day. But Trey Songz, no means no. No means no, my dude. Don't do it. All right. Next thing. My man Sean Spicer coming on for Donald Trump the day after the inauguration, getting mad about the pictures of the inauguration route. My dude, pictures tell 1,000 words. A whole lot more than 140 characters of Donald Trump's Twitter. You need to just back up. And I know that Donald Trump asked you to do it, but I'm going to ask you to sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Sean Spicer, you look stupid because when you put the two pictures side by side, it's no question that Barack Obama's inauguration was much larger than Donald Trump's. That has nothing to do with governing the country. Have your man govern the country and don't worry about that rest of that crap. If y'all do your job, it ain't going to matter. But if that's where y'all are and you that little, I feel sorry for you. And now for the Cactus of the Week. Woo, goodness. I had a hard time. I had a very difficult time as I thought about from Wednesday of last week, after we did the show basically on Tuesday of last week through the weekend on who was going to get the Cactus of the Week. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And I thought I was just going to say, please skip me for the Cactus of the Week this week. Until Kellyanne Conway came up with the term alternative facts. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Kellyanne Conway, for alternative facts. It makes me feel good deep, deep, deep down in my soul. Because now I can tell people I'm not overweight, I'm just underhyped. I can tell people.
Oh, Playboy. Wait, Maynard, stop.
I can't stop. I got two more I want to drop, right? I'm saying, if you ever find yourself in I can go back to all those women I ever dated in the past that said that I ain't rocked their world. I can just tell them alternative facts, baby. Alternative facts. You really had a good time. You just don't know it. So Kellyanne Conway, for coming up with a new term to describe lying instead of this dirty, nasty thing, but you have made it a high art. I have to tell you, my dear, you should choke on a cactus. Please enjoy this fine tequila cactus right in the throat. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
It's time for Lamont's marketing tip of the week. I just want to kind of give everybody a little bit of a disclaimer. This may not be for you because you may not make it. And so with that said, you just got to understand that, there are the have and the have-mores, and you may not be one of the haves. And so with that, we'll go to Lamont with his marketing tip of the week. The floor is yours, my brother.
Well, you know what? I am what they call just ill-prepared today. So the marketing tip of this week is just contact us at three black guys in the mic at gmail.com. And
I didn't even check the email address.
We'll answer all. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, because there's just so much going on musically. I just think, as I said before, and we don't want to be redundant with these, just try to get with a marketing professional. Somebody that can help you navigate these waters. I think I said this before, because the landscape, it changes daily. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes hourly. So I think, I had a conversation the other day with an artist. He just said, he just doesn't know, because again, things keep changing. So you always want to have a professional close by. So Spud, I want to make sure we got the email address correct. It's 3blackguys@gmail.com, correct?
With the mic. 3blackguys@gmail.com.
With the
the
mic.
number 3.
That's it.
blackguys@gmail.com. If you have a question for Lamont about, your marketing, your album, how to get radio spins, or anything that you want to know about the music business, he is the guy for you. So make sure that you email us at 3blackguys@gmail.com. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, episode 10 is in the can. And we'll do it again next Tuesday for episode 11. Hopefully, Maynard won't be as disrespectful to our guests moving forward.
Suburbanblack.com. Suburbanblack.com.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. To the beat, y'all. Thank you so very much for tuning into this episode of 3 Black Guys with a Mic. For previous episodes and more info about us, check out our website at 3blackguyswithamic.com. Remember, we want your feedback on the podcast. So go to iTunes, Google Play, or however you listen to this podcast, rate us, and leave us a review. Plus, subscribe to our podcast for new episodes and celebrity guests every week. Until next week, my baby, peace out.